Kani kadai ka Batisi TV, bat pidang pet ya ka kubor baman kasni, belawan rasha pi da ka rupa, ringkat bat ka orange Nissan, lom sopo near Fire Brigade Shillong.
New Nissan Kicks. Bookings open now.
Dkhot Jong ïINGDORBAR Thawaiñ Jylla Dorbar Senrai ke belas dang Hanriu tarik unailor arjar khat kendai kilakan mau tempang ya ke Jingkhladnoh Jong lampang ïINGDORBAR Thawaiñ Jylla Dr. Donkupar Roy arp kendai tarik unaitung arjar khat kendai hadian ke jingpang ke balabat katogan ipor. Menteri Rangba ke Jylla Konrad K Sangma sembut Menteri Rangba uba Preston Tensong Unong yalam kaliang persya Dr. Mukul Sangma bat kiwai ki MLA kila nyautang ru yau senyang ubenhei bau Dr. Donkupar Roy ulano syau sub utiar jong ïINGDORBAR Thawaiñ men bau danglong ulampang jong ïINGDORBAR Thawaiñ kumu Menteri Rangba barim ke Jylla bat kumu nong yalam jong sengsan partai United Democratic Party.
I stand here today to express our deepest condolences to all the families who have lost their dear ones in the past 6 months from all different parts of the state as well as different parts of the country. Sir, I think everyone will agree that most probably the last 6 months have been one of the darkest times for, I should say, the political class or the political family across party lines. And we have lost so many leaders. There are almost 23 prominent leaders who are mentioned here, and I'm sure many more. But 23 which we have mentioned, but more importantly, so we have lost leaders of very, very high stature and leaders who have really contributed to the state and to the nation as a whole. So I think it goes without saying that the loss to this house, I think, has been the biggest. Just 6 months back, we had Dr. Donkupar Roy, who was sitting in the speaker's chair. And today, 6 months later, we are here today again having this session, but he is not here with us in this house. And I think, sir, we all miss him. We all know the contributions that he has made to the House as a Speaker, to his constituency as an MLA where he was elected many times, the contribution he has made to his political party as a president for many, many years. And I think as a human being, the thousands and millions of lives that he has touched. So we all had a very, very close association with Dr. Donkupar Roy. A lot of things have been said about him. I would just like to mention one or two points that I personally had the honor and the pleasure of interacting and knowing Dr. Donkupar Roy. For one, he was a man of his words. He would never hesitate to call a spade a spade. And once he would tell somebody that I have given you my word, we know that each and every one of us knows that he was a person who would never break his words. And I think that is a true mark of a leader and a quality that was something that really was deep inside his character and his soul. And he always believed in loyalty and ensuring that his words were always kept. And he always ensured that he would guide all the young MLAs, especially the first timers who had come in here across party lines. I had the honor of working with him even as a finance minister in 2008. And I always used to look up to him for guidance in my finance ministry in 2008. And during those times, he guided me many times. And I had a chance to learn so many things which till today are things that affect me, and also are things that I remember whenever I do my work and the responsibilities that I carry out. Apart from that, when we formed this government of the MDA, it was Dr. Donkupar who played a very, very important and significant role. We can call him the architect, we can also call him the father, and we can also call him the person who created the MDA. And it was he who brought all the different political parties who are part of MDA today together and made sure that there was good understanding between us, and I should say laid the foundation for the strong understanding between the MDA partners, which is carrying on even now, in spite of the fact that Dr. Donkupar is not here with us. As I said, sir, for me personally, it's a great loss that even as a speaker, when it came to critical issues of the state, when it came to very sensitive issues of the state, I used to always consult him and look up to him to guide me. And therefore, at a personal level, it's a very great loss to me, and we all know to this house and to the state as a whole, it's been a great loss. Sir, we also lost many leaders at the national level, especially our former finance minister, Mr. Arun Jaitley. And I had the honor again of working very closely with him in different capacities. So I will always remember him as a very, very helpful man. I will always remember him as a very diplomatic man. I remember once going to meet him regarding some issues of some financial releases for the state which were pending at the center.
I'd like to convey our deepest condolences to the members of the Beer family and to all the loved ones of those deceased. We have lost a substantial number of leaders, as has been read out by the leader of the August House. We have lost our own friends with whom we have been associated with for a long, long time. We lost our own friend, led Dr. Donkupar, who was occupying the chair of the Honorable Speaker. We also lost one of our friends who was the member of this August House, Sri Michael T. Sangma. We lost quite a number of leaders who served as chief ministers of their respective states. One of them being Let Manohar Parrikar from Goa. Let Jylla from Delhi. Dr. Mishra from Bihar. While condoling the death of all these leaders, I would like to just confine in refreshing our memory about some of our friends and these illustrious leaders. Let Dr. Donkupar, who was the senior-most member of this August House. We all were there on the day of his funeral. And we all shared the grief with the members of the Beer family and all those loved ones who were associated with him for a long, long time. And from amongst all of us, I had the privilege of being associated with him for a very, very long time. 1993, when I first got elected, it was since then that we became very close. And 1993, the August House had a substantial number of independent MLAs. So there were as many as 12 independent MLAs, and we were amongst them. Therefore, as a group of independent MLAs, we had the privilege to know each other more closely. And we are also exposed to the similar kind of challenges as any other members who get elected as an independent member of this August House. And 1993-98 was a little different because it was post-ruling of the then Speaker, led P.R. Kindia, pertaining to the status of the independent MLAs vis-a-vis the independent MLAs' question of occupying a post in the cabinet. And as a group of independent, we had to undo the perception that was created at that point of time that independent MLAs cannot be inducted into the cabinet. I hope many of our friends will remember. Because a narrative was generated after the ruling of the earlier speaker, disqualifying 5 MLAs, where Dr. Don himself also was one of the disqualified MLAs. And therefore, there was a sequelae to that ruling, and the interpretation thereof pertaining to that ruling saying that independent MLAs will attract provision of 10th schedule if they are inducted into the cabinet. That was something which created lots of agitation in the mind of the independent MLAs, and therefore we had to collectively address this concern and get it corrected. Eventually it was corrected. We had to fight, and it ultimately resulted in induction of independent MLAs. Dr. Khonglam, late Dr. Khonglam was inducted, and Mr. Sujit Sama was inducted. So somehow we changed the narrative again. Under the leadership of Dr. Donkupar, Dr. Dkhot, when we were in the government together, we both were also deputy CM. And as usual, the state had always been confronted by challenges, issues, where we had to put our heads together. And the presence of late Dr. Donkupar always enrich us in finding ways and means to ultimately overcome those challenges. He has been a source of wisdom and guidance to all of us. So we have lost a great soul, a friend of the common man, and friend of all the friends with whom he was associated.